Greetings, nerdlings, and welcome back to That Nerd Mama Life. My name is Shannon. Thank you for watching. Today's topic, as you can see in the description, we are going to get a little creepy, a little spooky. We're going to be talking about ghosts and my experience with the paranormal. But before we get to that, today's weird holiday of the day is Lookalike Day. And the reason why I chose Lookalike Day from the many holidays for the day is if you follow paranormal movies or anything related to the paranormal, you will know that famed paranormal investigator and demonologist Lorraine Warren passed away yesterday at age 92. She is the inspiration for The Conjuring and the movies thereafter. The lady who plays her, Vera Farmiga, posted a touching tribute to her on her Twitter, saying that she was so blessed to know Warren and honored to portray her in the movies. And that kind of brought my own experience to the forefront, because I have actually had a paranormal experience. It was totally creepy. So, story time. When I was in, I want to say middle school, the street that I grew up on had a house on the block that was always kind of in shambles. Everybody knew that the lady who lived there had passed away. It was just kind of a neighborhood need-to-know thing. We were always told as kids by our parents to stay away from the house. Well, what do kids do when their parents tell them not to do something? They're gonna try and do something. So a bunch of us kids from the neighborhood got together, and without our parents knowing, we actually found a way into the house. It was a nice 2-story house, but it was like packed full of stuff. Like whoever had the house just left it after the lady of the house died. It just looked like he started packing up, but just kind of couldn't handle it and gave up. So there was like packing boxes everywhere and stuff. The whole house was still full of stuff. We all looked around the bottom level. It was a 2-story house. We all looked around the bottom level, and then we all went upstairs to look around. Well, while us kids were upstairs, we started hearing something. And we both kind of looked at each other like, am I just hearing that, or am I nuts? Are you guys hearing that? And they're like, yeah, we hear that too. So we all stood really quiet for a little bit, and the piano that was downstairs in the living room was playing. And so I was like, you want to go check it out? You want to go check it out? Okay, I'll go check it out. So while everybody chickened out upstairs, I went back downstairs, and I got to the bottom of the stairs, which the stairs like led to like this just tiny hallway and then straight into the living room. Like you could see the living room from the stairs. I got all the way to the bottom, and the piano stopped. I'm like, I know that's not a self-playing piano. No. Freaked me out. I ran back upstairs, grabbed everybody and said, we've got to go. We've got to get out of here. And so all of us, like, I tell them what's going on. I tell them what I saw. We all booked it out of the house. We all ran back to our separate houses. I go into my house, and I'm a white chick anyway, but I was like, we're talking like notebook paper white. We're talking like whiter than this canvas white. And my mom, she's like, what is the matter with you? Like, you look like you've seen a ghost. Yeah. And I just kind of stood there for a second because I didn't know if I should say something, because I knew like I was going to get in trouble. I was going to bust my butt for it because I technically broke into somebody's house. But I was so freaked out. I was like, Mom, you know that house down the street? She's like, yeah. And she kind of gave me like the mom side eye, like, what you been up to? I was like, Mom, I gotta tell you something, but first I gotta ask you, what is this story with the lady that died in the house? And she's like, why do you want to know? And of course I had to tell her, and of course my mom went ballistic. Why did you sneak in that? I'm gonna, yeah. My mama lit my butt up like a Christmas tree later that day. But after she got done yelling at me, she's like, why do you want to know? Why did you even sneak in the house in the first place? I was like, I was curious as to like if there was any clues as to what happened to her or anything. She's like, I can tell you exactly what happened to her. The lady had a heart attack and died before the paramedics could get there. And I was like, okay, so what did the lady do for a living? What did she like to do and stuff? She's like, well, she was just a stay-at-home wife. I know that, her husband worked all the time, and she just kind of, kept to herself, and that when they were church-going people, and she was a piano player for the church. I'm like, Mom, you'll never believe what happened to me in the house. And I told her, I told her about the piano playing by itself, and she's like, did you happen to recognize the tune? And I'm like, yeah, it was a church song. Almost, and it wasn't like consistently played. It was almost like, how when people are learning a song on the piano, they kind of pick at it a little bit until they get it right. Well, that's kind of what it did. It kind of like, just like the basic melodies, and then started playing like the whole thing. And I'm like, yeah. It blew my mind. I was like, this is like the first experience I've had with the paranormal. And it's like the one that I remember most because it was the first one. It was my first experience. And my mom, after I got in trouble and like the next day after things calmed down, she's like, Shannon, have you ever had any other experiences like that before? And I'm like, not that I know of. But, every once in a while I get this like, creepy feeling walking through the house. And she's like, I think you may be sensitive. I'm like, what does that mean? Like, I'm in middle school. What is sensitive to the parent? What? Sensitive to ghosts? Like, what does that mean? And she explained that, when somebody possesses some kind of paranormal like gift, I guess you could say, like they'll feel it manifests itself in different ways. Like some people just kind of get feelings, some people hear them, some people can see the future. Paranormal gifts come in all different shapes and sizes and forms. And I guess mine was that I could feel energies. Like I could feel their presence. I couldn't talk to them or hear them, but I could feel them, and I could feel like what kind of energy it was. And I still have that, and my daughter actually has it too. like, I remember one night we were living in a 2-story house at the time, and I was downstairs in the living room, and my daughter wakes up in the middle of the night, and I'm an insomniac, so I'm still up late at night. She comes downstairs and she's like, Mama. I'm like, what, baby? Are you okay? Why are you up? She's like, Mama, there was something on my bed. Are you sure it wasn't just one of your stuffed animals? She's like, no, Mama, it was black and it had glowing eyes. And I'm like, are you sure it wasn't just a reflection off of one of your teddy bears? Because she had a teddy bear that had like glass eyes that, you know, if the light caught it right, it would reflect the light off the eyeballs, and in pitch black it looks like it's glowing. And she's like, Mama, no, this felt very different. This felt very weird. And it woke me up. And it looked at me for a minute and then disappeared. What? And so I went upstairs with her, and I flicked on the lights, you know, with her in the room. I turned them off with her in the room. I'm like looking around, seeing if there's maybe an explanation. Is there something? And the closer I got to the bed, the more I felt like this oppressive energy. And we were living in Alaska at the time, which Alaska was, the town we were living in was pretty much formed around this old gold mine. Like if you look up the Independence Mine in Hatcher's Pass, you'll get all sorts of different information about it. And it's known to be haunted. Well, we live not maybe 4 or 5 miles from there. So I was just like, okay, what am I going to do with this? Because it's one thing when it happens to you, but then it's another when you're trying to parent a child who has the same thing. And it's like, how do I deal with this? How do you work with this? And she's still like, she'll stop in the middle of the hall. I mean, she's 15 now. You guys saw her in the last video. She's a teenager. She's older now. She's not in the imaginary friend stage. But every once in a while, she'll still come to me like, Mom, I feel something weird. Like, did you feel that? I'm like, so now not only do we share our love of all things nerd, apparently we also share all things paranormal. Awesome. And since we moved back down south, I mean, there's haunted places all over the South. In fact, like I posted earlier for my sneak peek today, the 1886 Crescent Hotel has been named the most haunted hotel in America, and that is in Eureka Springs, Arkansas, which is like at the northwestern tip of Arkansas, up in the Ozarks. And you'll find there's also Indian burial mounds. There's actually a national park that we went to when I was a kid. That was a trip, because at the time I was in elementary school when we went there, and I had no clue like what it meant to have a paranormal gift. But now that I look at it, it's like, yeah, now I get why I didn't want to be there. Now I get why I was uncomfortable. I didn't feel right. So the paranormal, some people believe in it, some people don't. You see all these TV shows, whether it's real or not. Me personally, I do believe in that kind of thing because I've had experiences, and this isn't just something that I get just like, I kind of feel weird because it's dark and, you know, creepy in here. And no, this is like legit. I feel an energy shift. I don't like it. or I feel an energy shift. Oh, this person is just trying to let me know they're there and that they're not hurtful. They're just hanging out. If you want more information on, the paranormal, Google as much as you can, do as much research as you can. And if you want to and if you are looking to have an experience, by all means, Google locations in your area where you can do your own paranormal investigation. In fact, when I was a kid, I actually, one of my, some kids want to be a doctor or a lawyer or an Olympic medalist. Me, I wanted to be a paranormal expert. I always had a fascination for it. Like, my favorite shows growing up was Scariest Places on Earth and Goosebumps. I always had a fascination with paranormal, and I still do. I still want to go visit, like, the most haunted places in America. That's, like, on my bucket list of things to do. And I'm just curious, like, what kind of paranormal experiences have you had? Do you believe in the paranormal? Do you think it's a bunch of crap? Let me know down in the comments. I would love to hear your ghost stories. I would love to see your opinions. And that's all I have for you today, nerdlings. As always, stay nerdy. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And I am taking tomorrow off because it's Easter, but I will be back here on Monday with all new information for you. Stay nerdy, friends. You guys have a good night.